Welcome to this presentation on applying for industrial and construction stormwater general permit coverage in your DEQ online. My name is Sarah Torres, and I work for PG Environmental. PG is supporting Oregon DEQ's transition to electronic reporting for their industrial and construction stormwater general permits, which is why I'm providing this overview of the application process. If you're watching this recording, you're probably planning to apply for coverage under one of Oregon DEQ's 1200 series stormwater general permits. This presentation assumes you've already registered for an account in your DEQ online and that you're either a responsible official, or RO, for a facility, or a contractor linked to a facility and assigned the permission to prepare a construction stormwater or industrial stormwater general permit application. If you haven't already registered in your DEQ online, there are detailed instructions on how to do so posted on the Your DEQ Online help page at the web address on this slide. Written instructions for applying for 1200 series stormwater general permits are also included in the Using Your DEQ Online for 1200 series stormwater general permits guide on the YDO help page. This presentation will cover in detail how to initiate, complete, and submit an application, and how to track the status of a submitted application. Specifically, we'll cover starting a new application, entering basic information, attaching files, paying application fees, reviewing and updating your application before finalizing, and certifying and submitting your application. We'll also show you how to track the status of a submitted application, make updates if needed, and communicate with DEQ. The application process is largely the same for construction and industrial stormwater general permits. The main difference is the basic information required, so we'll go through that section in detail for each permit. Otherwise, the instructions provided will apply to both industrial and construction applications. I know I just said a few slides ago that this presentation assumes you've already registered for an account, but there's one aspect of account registration in YDO that directly pertains to applications. So we're going to briefly cover the relationship and the differences between RO and consultant accounts. When you register in YDO, one of the first things you'll do is select an account type. For specific information on who should register for which type of account, refer to the references on the YDO help page. But basically, if you are a person who is legally authorized to sign NPDES permit applications, DMRs, and other required reports, you are a responsible official and will register for an RO account. If you are an employee of a facility or a contractor who will prepare an application on behalf of the RO, you will register for a consultant account. If you register for an RO account, you'll have to establish links to groups that you'll be submitting applications for, to facilities or sites that you're the responsible official for, and to consultants who can prepare applications on your behalf for those selected facilities and submittal groups. To submit applications for the 1200Z Industrial Stormwater General Permit, you will select the NPDES Stormwater Industrial Submittal Group. To submit applications for the 1200C Construction Stormwater General Permit, you will select the NPDES Stormwater Construction Submittal Group. In either case, you should also select the Fee Payment Submittal Group, because that will allow you to use the online invoice payment module. You would then link to the facilities or sites that you are the responsible official for, if appropriate. If you're submitting an application for a facility that doesn't currently have a DEQ permit or hasn't had one in the past, you'll create the new facility as part of the application process, and we'll go over that later in this presentation. One thing to note here is that when you are linking to a facility, you want to make sure you're linking to a water quality related facility, which will be indicated by the blue water droplet icon. Search for any consultants who will be preparing applications on your behalf, link to them, and then give them permissions to prepare permits for specific facilities or sites. To prepare permit applications for specific facilities or sites. In this example, I, as an RO, am giving the consultant permission to prepare applications for the 1200Z permit for my facility, ABC subdivision. It's worth noting here that you can only link to consultants once they have established YDO accounts. So you'll need to make sure your consultants have registered in YDO before you can link to them and assign permissions. To summarize, before the responsible official can prepare and complete applications, they need to establish links to submittal groups and to existing facilities or sites. Once these are established, the responsible official can give permission to a consultant to prepare applications and make payments for the specific submittal types on the responsible official's behalf. At this point, ROs and consultants can both prepare applications, but only ROs can certify and submit those applications. Only ROs can amend, renew, or withdraw anything after it's been submitted as well. It's important to note that DEQ can't see applications prepared by consultants until they're submitted by the RO. So if a consultant prepares an application, they have to inform the RO once the document is ready to be certified and submitted. Let's go over to the test site now, and I'll show you what this will look like in the system. So here I am on my dashboard. I'm logged in to a responsible official or RO account, and to add permissions and to link facilities and submittal groups, I will have to go to my account. So I will expand this navigation menu, and I can scroll down to the bottom and access my account from this little ID badge icon. Alternatively, I could go up here to the My Profile icon and access my account that way. So in my account, I'll click on the Account Type tab, and you can see that my account type is an RO account type. Under Submittal Groups, just move this over a little. Under Submittal Groups, I'll select the NPDES Stormwater Construction Submittal Group. I will select the NPDES Stormwater Industrial Submittal Group, and I will also select the Fee Payment Submittal Group. Down here under Linked Facilities, I'll click this More Info button, and I'll search for my facility using this search field. Once my facility appears, I'll click on it, and now I'm linked to this YDO test site. I'll click Save to save my selections, and then I'll click over here on the Consultants tab to add consultants. So you'll search for consultants using their email addresses, and the important thing is that you use the email address that is the same as the one that the consultant used when they established their account in YDO. And as a reminder, you won't be able to add consultants until they have established consultant accounts in YDO. So I'll type in my consultant email address. I'll click Find Consultant, and then the results will appear below. I'll find the consultant and link to them. And you'll notice you get this little warning that says that you have to add permissions or the consultant will be removed once you hit save. So the next step then is to add permissions for the consultant. And I'll do that by expanding this little blue arrow and clicking on Add Permissions. So I'll select my site that I'm adding the permissions for, which is the YDO test site, and then I'll select the submittal permissions. But I do want to mention that submittal is a bit of a misnomer because we're not giving permission to the consultant to submit anything. We're giving permission to the consultant to prepare something that the RO will eventually submit. So use the drop-down menu here, and I'll select the permission to prepare a 1200Z NPDES general permit application. And then I'll click this Add button to assign that permission. And if I need to assign additional permissions, I do the same thing, just expand the blue arrow, click on the Add Permissions. From the drop-down menu, I will select the option to prepare an application for 1200C MPDS general permit for my YDO test site, and I will click Add. And then I will save my selections. And now my consultant has permission to prepare 1200Z MPDS general permit and 1200C MPDS general permit applications on my behalf. Again, the consultant will prepare or can prepare the applications, but the RO will ultimately be the one submitting the applications.